Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week and a profitable big week for that matter. Regardless of it being in May, there's an investment strategy. They call it sell in May and go away. So this investment strategy is based on the theory that the period from November to April inclusive has significantly stronger stock market growth on average than other months. So that means from November until April, that's when the market is mostly trending, but that is mostly related on stocks. And as you've seen in the month of May as well, the market has still been trending, especially on the Forex market. Even the stocks, there has been trends. Whether the trend has been upside or downside, the fact is the market was still trending, so you can still make money trading up or down. Okay, so for this week, there are 5 things that I'm gonna lay out before we get started. I'm just gonna talk about these 5 things and we get right into it. There are so many good setups for this week, so stay tuned. Before you move on to your favorite pair, I just want to mention these 5 things and then we can get started. So the first thing is that our next course is going to be starting on the 8th of June. Right, so the next course starts on the 8th of June. It's a 10-day course, so that means from the 8th of June until the 18th of June, our course starts. So if you want more details about the course, you can book the course on our website. You will find the website link under the description of the video. All my contact details are under the description of all my videos, so that is the website there. So if you want to know more about the course, if you want to book the course, you get it there. So that means when you purchase the course, you get it available immediately to you. You can start watching. So from the 8th to the 18th of June, it's a live course. That means you get an opportunity to interact live. So we spent 2 days together, basically going through the course that you would have already watched and purchased on the site. So it puts you in a better advantage that you get to have an opinion during the course. You can also contact us through the chat on the website. This comes directly onto our chat box. So if you got any more questions, you can go through that chat box there. There is also a 10% discount on the full course. Just when you purchase the course, just make an inquiry about that discount so we can offer you that discount. It's a 10% discount. You'll find it under the courses there. So if you're still unsure how that works, just send an inquiry when you're about to purchase the course. We'll offer you the discount. Now, for South Africans, we understand that the US dollar ZAR is at all-time highs. So that means the ZAR is at its weakest. So the cost will be almost two times what the price was just over a year ago. So make an inquiry before you purchase, so that we can give you a special price for South Africans. Right. Number 4 is that of the 2 subscription plans that we've got plan 1 and 2. If you're taking plan 1 or 2, you are going to get our indicator. We're going to talk about our indicator as we go along. So this indicator is very powerful. You can trade any strategy you want. You can trade even the Elliott Wave theory, but without this powerful indicator, your accuracy is always going to be low. Last thing is that if you've taken any of the 2 plans here, you can always upgrade to the full course should you wish to. If you find that once you're in our group and you want to learn everything, then you can just pay the difference of your plan and the full course. So those are the 5 things that I wanted to mention before you run off to your favorite pairs. So to go on to your favorite pairs, you'll see that we've got a list of timestamps of all the pairs instruments that I'm going to go through here today. So you can just go to your favorite one and select what you want to watch. All right, so let's get started. We will start with trade recaps. Let's start with trade recaps. What have you been busy with in the last week or last 2 weeks? Right, so this is the silver trade. Let's start with silver and how we analyzed silver. I posted a video on my channel. You can check out the video on my channel, how we traded silver. So the reason why I posted the silver, I wanted to give you a sneak preview of how we take the trades live in our group. So silver was a good example. So I took an extract of the video that we did during the daily market analysis webinar in the group, so you can see how that plays out. So this is where we were with silver, and this is where we're expecting to go. So we've already moved right just before this. We've already moved about 200 points to around 17 from about 15. So we are around this area. We're busy making this corrective structure, so we're looking for silver to continue higher. So this is, you can check out that trades on my YouTube channel. So this is how silver played out immediately after we put it up. So it makes a move 200 points. I have sent out an email to everybody who has subscribed to our website. So you can subscribe to our website as well to get information that is sent every now and then if there's anything to update. So I've updated that. You need to look for pullbacks on silver. So that's what we're going to be looking at on silver. I don't want to do the market analysis now. I'm just want to show you how this has played out and where we are. We are here now. We've already moved to 200 pips. We are running the trade risk-free. You can even choose to take the profits if you are in the trade. That was silver, and also Brent crude oil. Brent crude oil just before the break. Right, so just before the break, we expected it to make a move to the upside, and exactly as forecasted, this has made a move. That's because of the powerful indicator that we use. It tells us when the move is ready to go, and you can see that here it just goes like that. So that is oil, and that is how oil has played out. Now, this is an interesting one. This was a pretty old chart, and that has now played out over 750 pips up to this level. I showed you this one last week, exactly how we took this, how we forecasted that it was going to come while you were still coming down here. I'll show you the weekly chart when we were forecasting that it was going to come down here to parity and make a bounce to the upside. This is Audi New Zealand. Now, Audi New Zealand, you see we focused 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves, and those moves have all played out. Not just that, we've also got with four in red and 5 in red. Let's just go to the next one here. So this is how this now played out. So this is where we were. This is where we were entering. Now, somebody made a comment on the video that, yeah, you saw the move coming, you focused on the move coming to parity, but you also wanted it to retest again before it goes. So yes, that is correct. When this started making a move to the upside here, we were expecting that it was going to make a retest before it goes. So that's fine, but you need to understand, what you need to understand is, we're not trying to be right. What you're trying to do is to get an entry point. I was expecting this. It did not happen. Does that mean I lose the trade? You'll see the next chart what we do here. I was expecting it to retest. It did not retest. Instead, it makes a move to the upside and it makes a move back. Now, when it makes the move back, it is showing us the indicator that we have tells us it's time to enter. You can see exactly our pinpointed entry at 2592, 1.02592, and 500, 600 points later, this is what we've got. So even if that retest did not happen, that doesn't matter. What matters is where you enter, and that is where most people struggle with entries or the timing of the market. We can focus all we like. You can focus the direction. Sometimes you'll be amazed at how much you can focus the market with 90% accuracy and you still don't make any money out of it. This is the weekly chart showing how we were looking for this to come to parity at 1 and then make a move to the upside. This is the weekly chart. Where are we now? We are around here at 700 at halfway. We're still looking for this to continue higher. So are we going to get a deeper corrective structure? We are waiting for that. All right, so that is Audi New Zealand. Now, the indices have been interesting. We've got all the indices 100% in the last week. So this is the Dow and what we were looking for. So with the Dow, you can see we had a three-way move to the upside. We said we want a move down, and now we are here on the Dow, exactly as forecasted. There are almost clear-cut trade setups for the next week, so that will be trading live. So this is the Dow. We focused that it was going to come down. It's going to make a move up. Now we're looking for upside. Now, how do you time the market to get those trades? That's what we're going to be doing in the next week. Right, so that is the Dow. You'll see the S&P 500 as well, but let's look at the DAX first before we go there. So the DAX also, we had clear three-wave moves, and then we are now here with the DAX. So that is how it has played out. As you can see, nothing new there. Comes down, it goes up. Now we've got a trade set up. So that means a lot of money to be made in the next week. So very clear-cut trade setups. I'll advise you to watch as much of the video as possible, as much of the pairs as possible, especially pound CAD may be the trade of the week. So watch out for that as we go along. So this is the DAX, and that is how that has played out. We've actually skipped the S&P 500, but it will be the next one that we're going to look at. This is a New Zealand chief. I think I've put in the after chart here, so we focused that it was going to break to the upside here and come here. Let's see. I think I'll show the chart before here. It didn't show the chart before. Unfortunately, you can't see that. So we're looking for this one to break from here, but there is a trade set up here, and we're looking for upside on New Zealand chief. All right, so now this is the S&P 500. This is the one that I wanted to show you before we get to the chief pair. We are focusing that it was going to come down. It's going to make a move up. Now, we've got a trade set up around this area, looking very interesting for upside. So this is the S&P 500. Now, we'll be looking for this one to push higher. We'll do that as we start with the market analysis. Right, that is the S&P 500, Euro, New Zealand. Focus that was going to drop from here. We are already here. We're making a corrective structure. There's a trade set up for downside here. This is how that Euro New Zealand has played out. As you can see, we've now dropped from where we focused it, and we are here. That is a Euro New Zealand, very interesting pair. Now, EURCHF, I've been talking about EURCHF making a strong, big bounce to the upside. We have made a sharp move, but I think that sharp move is only a short squeeze. That sharp move went up to this level, but we're now busy correcting like this. I think it's going to go back into the structure again. So let's just have a look here. This is what happened with the EURCHF. We've been talking about EURCHF for a while. Is this going to make a move to the upside? Now, indicator is not showing such. It looks like we're going to update the structure. You'll see the structure when we start with the market analysis. This is now pound US dollar, no, Bitcoin. Now this is Bitcoin. I showed you this chart last week that we forecasted the Bitcoin move to around the 10,000 before the current correction that you see. So that is the move on Bitcoin. So let me show you the complete structure after that. This is what happened with Bitcoin. We eventually got to the 10,000 forecast with this simple structure WXYZ. We are now correcting here. Okay, so these are the trade setups for the week. We're going to start with the cryptocurrencies, and I'm going to show you how we forecasted the cryptocurrencies in the week, what we were looking at on the cryptocurrencies, and what we think is going to happen in the next week. So let's start with the cryptocurrencies. We'll start with Bitcoin. Let's go to Bitcoin here. Right. Before we start with there's also the yen pairs. I will focus on the yen pairs. So just watch out how for the yen pairs, when we start with the analysis, we'll look at the yen pairs. Now I'm going to look at this with the access that members have. The members have got access to all these listed instruments, almost 60 instruments, about 100 charts that we do in a week. Let's look at the cryptocurrencies. I want you to see how it looks from the chart and what we're expecting going forward. So somebody's asking, which indicator do we use? So is this an indicator that we've got? Is a proprietary indicator that we cannot talk about here now. You have to make an inquiry for that if you want to know more about that. So that indicator is very, very powerful. Right, so this is why I'm going to talk about the indicator. Maybe just 2 minutes talking about the indicator and why it is absolutely important to have that. Now, let's look at this chart. Before we start, just 2 minutes on talking about why you need an indicator. This is a price chart. Now, this is my Elliott Wave analysis. Yes, I have got it right in this instance, but how many times, Elliott Wavers, have you got an analysis wrong? How many times have you got it wrong? Maybe 50, 55% of 55% of the time you have been right. Is that good enough to be profitable? I mean, it's not good enough to be profitable 50, 55, even 60% of the time is not good enough. Now, you can make a mistake here. I've labeled this as a three-wave structure. It's a three-wave structure. Somebody could come here with this count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and get it totally wrong. That is because this chart is generated with a computer, and what you're doing here is analyzing with the naked eye. But the indicator, the relative strength index, stock RSI indicators, all those moving averages indicators that you can use, they are they are measuring what the price is doing, and you can actually, from those indicators, determine whether your wave count is correct or incorrect. So that means if you are wrong about a trade, the indicator will tell you no. So what we have is, we call it a 3-point indicator. I'm a mechanical electrical engineer by trade. And as an engineer, I want something that is straightforward. I've learned formulas to plug in values into a formula and get an answer. That's what I want. Now, even when it comes to trading, I want to get 1, 2, 3 things that tell me if they all confirm, then I'm pulling the trigger. I don't want to be asking myself whether is it time or is it should I wait. Then that is an emotional decision. I want the strategy itself to tell me. I can do the count and I'll be wrong, but if I am wrong, the indicator will tell me I am wrong. If I am right, the indicator will tell me I am right, and then I pull the trigger. So this is exactly how it works, how we combine wave theory with the indicator. And it's not just one indicator. Okay, first is the structure. Structure is the EW, Elliott Wave Theory. That is the main strategy. And there are 2 indicators that need to confirm this. If they confirm, we don't even ask questions. You pull the trigger exactly the same way as the silver trade. You can even hear the excitement in my voice when I was doing that silver trade. Check it out on YouTube, because I could see that all the checks have confirmed and it was ready to go. So you cannot analyze a computer-generated chart with a naked eye. You need to use the indicators. Yes, some indicators are lagging. I understand that. So that's why I've done I've done a intro on one of the videos where I talk about the real meaning of RSI and the real meaning of indicators. So you need to understand the algorithm. If you understand the algorithm, you'll understand whether how the indicator lags and how you can use it properly. Now, with our case, the indicator does not lag because we use structure first and confirm with that. Now, right, so that is what we're looking at. That is how you use the indicator. Okay, so there are a number of questions coming through here. One from Julian: how do you recommend star counting Elliott waves? Could you give us an indication? I think let's then you use EW with RSI, not just the RSI. 2 indicators. RSI is one of them. RSI is one of them. You can use the RSI, but you cannot use the RSI alone. Remember, go look at the video that I did, the real meaning of RSI. RSI is a relative strength indicator. It's a momentum indicator like any other indicator you'll find, but there's a difference between relative strength index and relative strength. Okay, go check out that video. You'll find it on my YouTube channel. All right, so let's continue with Bitcoin. Let's go to the cryptocurrencies and how we looked at the cryptocurrencies in the week. So this is what we focused on in the week. We expected it to break lower here. We came down to about 8,700, but now we're making this pullback here. I think what's going to happen here is that we're going to make a move to the downside. We're going to make a move to the downside and make this structure. There are 2 alternatives here that need to be confirmed. So we've dropped here. We're making this corrective structure. Is this corrective structure going to drop here? Or is this corrective structure going to make this? Because there's a possibility that we make this structure as well. Okay, so that's what we need to confirm. For the other structures, it's a lot more clearer. Let's go to the Bitcoin chart, the live chart. Okay, so the Bitcoin chart looks like this. This is where we're looking at during the week. We're looking for this to break lower here. We've just got this small move here. Okay, we've only just got that small move. This looks pretty corrective and looks like it's gonna drop here. If it doesn't and it continues up here, you're gonna have to reevaluate. So there's a possibility for this structure. I don't see this one happening. I see this corrective structure. I'm looking at this. Okay, look for this on Bitcoin. Let's go to the next one. Next one on is Ethereum. Looking at Ethereum, we're looking for Ethereum to go straight down here. It did not go straight. We have dropped slightly here though, and we are now making this corrective structure. Is this corrective structure going to drop? Now let's look at the live chart on Ethereum. This is what Ethereum looks like. Okay, so Ethereum. Now indications are that this is going is the structurally we've got this move down here. We've got this 3 waves here. Now we're looking for this one to make another 3 waves down here. As you can see, 1, 2, 3. Let's just switch off everything here so we can just look at the structure alone. So it's 3 waves down, it's another 3 waves to the upside. Are we going to get this one making a WXY structure here and then pushing higher again? Or this can still go sideways, but what we're looking at is this here. If it does not go straight down here, we can get this one doing this structure. It is still the same structure, it's just the corrective structure that it may play out can be something like this. So go retest the top here. This is not ready to go as yet. Retest the top and come back down. Okay, so we need to watch for confirmation. Is this going to continue up here? There's a very likelihood that we make a continuation to the upside here and then come back down here. Okay, if we get time this week, I'll do a crypto video during the week where I will update this. Right, so this is Ethereum. Next one is Litecoin. Let's look at it on the website as well. Litecoin is similar to Ethereum. Litecoin, we even had a setup here to look for a sell here to come down here, but we've dropped slightly. But we've not gone anywhere really, because this is looks like it's making a move to the upside. Let's look at the real chart here on Litecoin. So Litecoin, just like Ethereum, it looks like it may just make a move here and give us this 3 wave structure, but we are only just going to be testing here and coming back down here. So we're waiting for that confirmation. Is it going to make a move up first, or is it just going to come down here straight? So this is also a possibility, and you still have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we're looking for this. Now we need to confirm which one it is going to be. Is it going to go up first and come down, or is it going to come down from here first, straight? So we'll be waiting for that. That is Litecoin. Ripple, slightly. So Ripple is confirming more of the second alternative, which is a push up first. Even if Ripple will not go all the way to the previous high, it may just make this structure and still come back down like this. That will still be a 3-wave structure, WXY here. Okay, so that will still be a 2-wave structure. Even if we see Ripple pushing higher here, does not mean that it's going all the way. It may just push slightly higher and then come back down. That is Ripple. Now, you can see the structures on all of them. How we got them to the upside is 11 swing sequence on this one. All right, that is Litecoin. Now, those are the cryptocurrencies and how we looked at the cryptocurrencies in the week. That's just the 1-hour charts, and there are longer time frame charts on the cryptocurrencies as well. Now let's go into the indices. The indices are crystal clear. They are very good setups on the indices. Okay, there are very good setups on the indices this week as well. So let's look at them. As you've already seen some of the trade setups that I've shown on the indices. Let's start with the S&P 500. Okay, let's start with the S&P 500. S&P 500, okay. All right, so this is S&P 500. I think there's a question here from Sarah. Let's just have a look. What will happen after the correction? I think you're referring to the cryptocurrencies. What will happen after the corrective structures? So let's have a look here at Bitcoin. Let me just show you quickly. It's a good question. So what will happen after the corrective structure? So we need to wait for that. Let's have a look here at the full chart on Bitcoin. Now what you are seeing here is that a swing to the upside in that red degree has completed. The red degree has completed here at the Y. Now what you're seeing here is a correction in the green degree. The green degree, let me show it in the green. So the green degree is this structure, this one here. Now we have got that as a 3-wave move to the upside. The question is, are we gonna go straight after the corrective structure and continue higher? Now if we do continue higher, what this means is this, and this is not likely. This corrective structure is too small to be a correction for the whole swing. So that will be a W, that will be an X. Now I'm looking for this X in yellow. That X in yellow cannot happen after this small correction. I'm expecting that these will go even more sideways after this. So let's say that is the end of the corrective structure. So there's a likelihood that we get another one here. It makes a double. Then this will be a decent corrective structure WXY on the cryptos. So I'm only looking at the next immediate move here until we get confirmation of what's going to happen next. So that corrective structure can then be the X in yellow and then the Y in yellow to the upside. Sorry, I'm out of space. That's what I'm looking at on the cryptocurrencies. And that is applies for all of them. Okay. All right, so that is Bitcoin, and we are going into the indices now. Let's go into the indices. Now, the indices, we'll be looking for this. We've got some very nice trade setups. As much as you can see that this is about to make a move to the upside, you need to get confirmation that this will really go to the upside. Okay, you cannot just go and say, oh, I've got a flag here and I'm going to buy. What if that flag just continues here? And you know, there's a likelihood that you get this structure. This structure is possible, very possible structure. So that's why you need that indicator to confirm. Are we going to go straight from here, or are we going to make a move to the downside first? But I'm looking for this one to make a move to the upside. We need to get that confirmation. Very likely that we're going to get that. So we focus that we're going to have this one. As you've seen during recaps, now we are here. We're looking for this one more move to the upside on the S&P 500. Okay. Now that is the S&P 500 on the 4-hour. Look for continuation to the upside. The Dow is exactly the same as the S&P 500. You've got a 5-wave move in the yellow degree here, or rather in the green degree. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why you've got an A there. We're starting another new swing here. We've got this one here, looking for this to continue to the upside in the next week. All right. So that is the Dow Jones Industrial. I can see there are some questions on the chat box. I'll answer those at the end of the webinar. I think hold those questions for the end of the webinar so that we don't get distracted here. So let's do that. So if you've got any questions, stay on after the webinar. Even if it's after the recording, I'll stay on and try to answer some of your questions. That is the Dow Jones Industrial, looking for upside, continuation to the upside, just like the S&P 500. Transportation following the industrial. So if they are confirming each other, then we will see this one making a move to the upside. The transportation as well, we're looking for upside. We've corrected, we've made a pulse. Now we're looking for upside there. The NASDAQ, same. Do not go and rush into buying this. As soon as the market opens, you need to get confirmation. We're looking for upside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, correction. You're looking for another move to the upside. Okay, so that is the NASDAQ. We're looking for continuation to the upside there. A very clear structure. Why are we looking for upside? We're looking for this to make a 3-wave structure. It's a very impulsive structure. It's a very impulsive structure, so we're looking for it to continue to the upside like that. Let's just fix that one up here. So we're looking for this one to make a move back to that level. That is the NASDAQ, looking very clear. UK 100, you've seen this one under trade setup. The forecast was for this one to come down here. We've got it. Now we're looking for this trade setup. We're looking for a push to the upside to complete this 3-wave structure. This is the 3-wave structure, the leading diagonal in A, corrective structure, and then the last move here. So that last move can happen in an impulse. You can have an impulse on that last degree. So that means this can be quite fast. It does not have to be a diagonal. It can be an impulse, as long as it's 5 waves. That is the UK 100. The DAX, similar to the UK 100, also during trade recaps, I've shown you that we focused on this move. We've got now this move. We're looking for this corrective structure and looking for a push to the upside. Wait for confirmation. It has not confirmed as yet. The Nikkei is completing the ending diagonal in wave C here. It looks like it's still going to push a little bit higher. Then we're going to wait for a corrective structure here on the Nikkei. Okay, so the Nikkei should give us a deeper corrective structure before any continuation of the move to the upside. That is the Nikkei. The next one is the Nifty. Nifty is not so clear. It looks like it's still correcting in 3 waves. Those are the 3 waves that we see. 1, 2, 3. Now, any Elliott waver would want to just get this one to push to the upside, because this is anyway after an impulse. Now, it does not just work like that. This needs to be confirmed. There's a possibility that this makes a structure like this. What if it makes a structure like this? This can still do that. So the NIFTY is still not confirming upside as yet, like the other indices. It looks like the NIFTY is still going to continue lower and give us this structure. Okay. Now, for my Indian traders, there is a very interesting setup on Sun Pharmaceutical, Sun Pharma stock. If you trade stock, so this is how it works. So if you're interested in joining us, but you do not, the pairs that you want us to trade are not listed, what we do is after the daily webinar every day, we look at this at the charts, specific charts that you're interested in. So that is the only way we can accommodate everyone. We cannot have all the stocks and all the indexes listed. There's been a request from Pakistan for the KSE, which I've done last week. I'll do it again. The NIFTY we're already doing, but there's a whole lot of requests all over the world for other indexes. We do not have time. We do not really, unfortunately, have the time to do all the indexes as much as we want to. But I can give you this trade. This has confirmed for the Indian traders. Look out for this one for next week. This one is going to make a move at least back to around this level. So Sun Pharmaceutical Index, I used to do this setup, this stock almost every week for one of our Indian students in the group. So this is what we're looking at here, a move to the upside. Okay. Right, so that is what we are looking at. Right, that is the Sun Farmers Index. So let's look at the Karachi 100 chart. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. So what we're looking at here, the indices are looking upside. We're looking at this one to be making a three-wave structure. Let's change the color here to blue. Blue is better on white. So 1, 2, that is a corrective structure. We're looking at this one to be ending with a diagonal. That's what we're looking at from last week. So even if this one can change structure slightly. If the structure changes like this and we don't get a wave 5, that means this is just going to come back down here and we're going to make the last move up like that. So what you want to do here is wait for this to pull back, whether it does this. If it does this, then we're going to look for it to continue to the upside. Okay, let's have a look here. So the strength is still to the upside, as you can see with the RSI there, still to the upside. So, but there's no confirmation for upside here. We're looking for this one to be making this corrective structure. A break above this here will confirm further upside, maybe even change the structure to something like this. Let's switch off here, structure to something like this. This will be 3 waves to the upside, and then we start looking at this one to be a corrective structure like that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, making this one a W, X, Y structure in the lower degree, because we're expecting this to pull back. That will be the structure that we're looking at. So what that will do is we're gonna have a W, you're gonna have an X pullback, and then you're gonna have a continuation to the upside in the red Y degree. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking at. So depending on how this plays out in the week, we will update that. Now this will be the lower degree, A, B, excuse my writing here, A, B, C there, and WXY there. This one will possibly be another ABC or a WXY in the lower degree. So we don't have this one yet. So that is what you're looking at on the KSE. Pullback at continuation to the upside. Strength still to the upside, just like the rest of the indices. All right, so those are the indices. Let's now go into the US dollar pairs, the major pairs. Let's start with the DXY. Now the DXY, I'm looking at the DXY as a triangle. It looks like it's going to be a triangle. Now, if the DXY is going to be a triangle, that means we're looking for continuation to the upside here. And then we're going to look for it to come down here before continuing to the upside. So that is the structure. You can see the structure, ABC structure in green there, but that doesn't matter until we get out of this triangle structure. So we're looking for the DXY to continue strength, or the dollar index to continue strength in the next week. Let's go to the 4-hour. Now, there's very interesting correlation between the DXY and the euro. Let's have a look here. auto here. Let's get the runner. So we're looking for the DXY to continue higher. This is our triangle here on the 4-hour. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is this going to be a 5? So we're looking for this one to continue to complete the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A, B, C, D, E triangle structure before we make a move to the downside. We know that the dollar index is mostly correlated to the to Euro US dollar. Let's go to Euro US dollar and see how that correlates. Now Euro US dollar has got a very clear structure. I've just updated the structure over the weekend. So now we are looking for this on Euro US dollar. So if the DXY is going to continue higher, so now look at this, the Euro does not have a triangle. So we're not going to force a triangle just because you've got it on the DXY. It does not work like that. So the Euro should continue lower. Last week, Euro, we wanted it to continue lower. There's a structure that we were looking at. You can check out last week why we wanted it to continue from there. That move did not happen, and instead Euro reversed from here. All right, so now Euro is coming down here. We're looking for it to contract here and continue down to the downside just because we want the DXY to complete its triangle to the upside. That is exactly the inverse correlation that we're looking at on the DXY and the Euro. Just to complete the structure that we're looking at on the Euro, on the 4-hour, this is a move to the downside. Let's just draw this one clearly here. So we have got this one as a 1, 2, 3 waves, and you're looking for this one to complete in this purple degree. 1, 2, 3. That is your B wave, B complex B correction here that you see in yellow. Just switch off here so you can see the structure alone. That is why we're looking for the Euro now to come and retest the low here. Will it come down in a straight line? Maybe not in a straight line. We may have a corrective structure here, or just exactly the same move that this one has played out here, this one here. So we may have a deeper corrective structure at some point here, because that's the structure we're looking at up to this level. Now eventually we will then look for a move like this. We'll look for this to make a pulsing move, being a whole corrective structure, and just to make it even more interesting, 1, 2, 3, and that is what we're going to look at. Okay, so how do you label this? ABC. ABC structure. Internally here, you've got a WXY structure. That is the Y structure here in the yellow. And you can go on and on. Let's look at the next one here. The next one here is going to be an ABC in yellow. Let's get a yellow here. ABC lower degree. Okay, I've used the same color, but it's just assume that it's a lower degree than that. So just don't want to spend waste time doing the labelings. As long as you can see the structure and you can see where we're going, we will have a pullback at some point before we continue to the downside. But we're looking for this to continue lower. That is Euro US dollar. Pound US dollar. Now pound US dollar, we had a trade set up. Actually took a trade from here on pound US dollar. No, I'm wrong. This is the way we took the trade. We took the trade here. It makes a move to the downside here and pulls back. Let's just have a look at that trade on pound US dollar. I think we looked at it last week. Let's have a look at the pound US dollar trade last week. See if we can find it. Pound US dollar trade setup. Let's have a look quickly. We'll find it now. Now this is pound US dollar. So pound US dollar, it makes a move here, it makes a deeper pullback, and then it continues lower. We were expecting, okay, we get down here to target. We're expecting that from here, we're gonna have a sharp move to the upside. Indeed, we did get the sharp move to the upside, and we're looking for that move to continue higher. But that move is not continuing to the upside. Why? Let's have a look. And this is where structure and the indicator plays an important role. So before I show you the labeling and the updated labeling on this, we were looking for this one to make a move to the upside here and give us this as a corrective structure, whether this can be a running or an expanding flat like that, and then we continue to the upside with this move. That is how the Elliott Wave theory works, isn't it? That is how the Elliott Wave theory works. After correction, must continue the impulse, but that is not what is happening here. And instead here, what's going to happen, this is going to come to the previous low again, okay? It can even do a structure like this. Now, how do we handle that? You had an analysis, it did not play out correct as you forecasted, but what you could trade for sure is the next immediate move, which was this trade that I've just shown you up to this level. Now, you wait for confirmation for the next one. You're not just going to take this next trade to the upside. In fact, we were expecting this to happen in the group. We're expecting this to happen. We said if this one comes here, we get all our confirmation, then we're looking for this move to the upside. As it looks now, that move is not going to come. Now, how does that happen? How does that play out? How does that affect our structure? This is our new structure now. This is our new structure. So that structure does not change completely. What we are seeing here is that we've had a move. Instead of these being the last wave 5 in green as we had initially forecasted, this has actually made what we call truncated 5th wave. Okay, so this is the 5th wave here. So that means it failed to break higher than the wave 3. And that does not give you a warning. One of the conditions of a truncated 5th wave is that all the 5 waves must be in place. Now, if you look at this here, all the 5 waves within the wave 5 are in place. So that confirms that this is a truncated 5th. How does that change the structure now? The structure does not change much. We just adjusted that this is no longer our wave 5, but this is our wave 5. It failed to break higher. Now we've got this deeper corrective structure. We've made a pulsing move. This pulsing move that we thought was the start of the new move is actually just the start of the corrective structure here, which we'll look at it. Look at the corrective structure. Look at the green degree to understand the structure that we're looking at. So pound US dollar, we should see continuation back to the downside here. I don't see it going pushing higher from there. I don't think this is ready yet, right? So it's going to continue lower, and there's a possibility for a bounce here before coming down, and it's going to be giving us these 3 waves down and 3 waves up and then 3 waves down. Now those who trade, let me just see here, those who trade harmonic patterns can even start looking for something like this. Looking for something like this. Around here at the 70 area. Okay. So that is just confirming what the structure that we're looking at. So look for continuation to the downside. In any case, the dollar index is looking strong, so we should see this one coming down here. Let's go through the rest of the pairs. US dollar chief. US dollar chief, we've been looking for this one to push higher from here. We've been looking for this one to go here, but it has instead made a double corrective structure, WXY here. Now that's why we're looking for this one to, we're expecting here to get this corrective structure. This move that we're expecting here, we've expected to happen from here. Now that is what we're looking at on US dollar chief, to follow the DXY. All right. So that is the DXY, looking for continuation to the upside. Not the DXY, it's US dollar chief. All right, this is a corrective structure here, not a diagonal. All right, that is that. Let's look at the next one. Is New Zealand US dollar. New Zealand US dollar, we're looking for a pullback here. We currently have a pullback. Let's just go to the website here. Let's just see what the forecast was here on New Zealand US dollar. Let's look at the US dollar pairs. US dollar pairs. There we go. I'm gonna look at the New Zealand. So New Zealand, we're looking for a pullback. Let's have a look here. So we're looking for this pullback. That is the pullback that is currently happening. You see that pullback currently happening now on the New Zealand. Will it pull back and push higher? Very likely, because that's what we're expecting on the euro as well, to pull back and then continue to the upside. So we've got this one here coming back down here already. This could be a 3-wave move, pull back before we continue to the upside. Don't do anything here on New Zealand US dollar until you get confirmation of this B structure in the purple minute degree. Okay, look for this one. Right, that is a New Zealand Audi US dollar, also from the website. That is the forecast for the pullback. We're looking for the pullback. We're looking for that pullback before any move to the upside. That needs to be confirmed. How deep will this pullback be? We're waiting for that confirmation. Let's look at the actual chart here. Let's switch off the structure here. So Audi, we're looking for this to pull back. There's no confirmation that this is going to reverse from there. We're waiting for that confirmation, but there's a very high likelihood that it actually makes one more to the upside. 1, 2, 3. We get confirmation. This one makes a move to the upside, but this will still come back down for a bigger corrective structure. That is Audi US dollar ZAR. So US dollar ZAR, I said you don't do anything on US dollar ZAR until this corrective structure is complete. Now we're still looking for this corrective structure to complete. It's not complete as yet. Are we going to start seeing a bounce here? We may see this one doing this again and start making a move to the upside. So let's watch US dollar ZAR. There's no confirmation for a move here. Even if you get a sell set up here, you can't take it here. It's too far from there. It's already made a big move to the downside. So look for buy setups on US dollar ZAR in the next coming sessions to go retest the top there. Right, that is US dollar ZAR. Now the yen pairs. Let's look at the yen pairs from the website. We also focused at almost 100% of the yen pairs in the last week. Let's have a look at what we looked at on the yen pairs. Pound yen. Now pound yen, as I've explained, pound US dollar. As I've explained, pound US dollar, you will see what we're expecting here with pound yen. Oh, so we've skipped US dollar CAD. My apologies. Let's go to US dollar CAD. Thank you. Right, so US dollar CAD, the structure on US dollar CAD is this. Right, so US dollar CAD, we've got US dollar CAD here. With the DXY looking pretty strong, we should see US dollar CAD complete this structure. Let me show you the structure without all these labelings. First, let's show the structure. Now, if you look at the US dollar CAD structure, we're looking at this to be a three-wave move to the downside. It's a very tricky structure on US dollar CAD. We've got three waves to the downside. We've got a pullback in this move, and we've got a move to the downside. So we're expecting a three-wave structure. Now, internally, you've got this in purple. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now you've got here 1, you've got 2, that is what we're looking at. You've got 3. So what you have here is a combination of a zigzag with an X and then a flat correction. Let me switch off here. Let me switch off all the labelings so we can see the structure only. Switch off the labeling so we can see the structure only. So we look at that. So that is the structure on US dollar CAD. So what we have on US dollar CAD, let's put in the labeling on this so we can see the structure clearly. Three waves down, W in yellow, pullback X. Now this is the Y. Your Y is this whole move, this purple move. The W here is the three waves here. The X here is the three waves in purple. The Y here is the three waves in this degree. Only difference here is that your X in purple here is becoming a little bit complex and it's giving you this three-wave structure. That's why we're looking for a bit of a continuation to the upside on US dollar CAD here. Let's see if it is being supported for upside. Not quite. So this one is not quite supported for upside here. So the structure may slightly change. We may get a pullback here like this until we get confirmation that this is going to complete this structure. So look out for this one here for upside. Right, so that is what the structure is showing us, but the indicators is showing us that this is going to actually make a move here like this. So if it does make that move, then that is going to be your structure. 1, 2, 3 like that. So we're gonna have one more down first before we make a move to the upside. So watch out for that. Downside on most of the pairs that have got a CAD or as the code currency on them, they are going to start with a move to the downside, maybe in the first couple of sessions, maybe the first half of the week. So US dollar CAD, not a strong move to the upside. We're not gonna get upside there. It does not look like it's confirming that. So it looks like this is gonna be a corrective structure. Look out for this short move. Regardless of what the structure is showing us, look out for this. That is US dollar CAD. I think we've done all the US dollar CAD pairs. Now, I was on the yen pairs, so I was still talking about pound US dollar. So this is that sharp move that we spoke about last week. We said we're going to have this sharp move, but that sharp move, the reason why we wanted to get that sharp move was so we can get a corrective structure here and a move to the upside. Okay, so we are getting this corrective structure, but that is not convincing for a continuation to the upside. I think this is going to come down. Look at how we update the structure. It is still a very clear structure with an update. Let's go to pound yen. Now, if you look at this structure here on pound yen, it looks like we're going to have a 3-wave to the downside, 3 waves up, and then we've got this one as a 3-wave move to the downside. So let's just show the structure first. Let's show the labeling first on this. The structure will be this one, 1, 2, 3. There's a number of ways that this one can play out. If you look at the internal structure, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But if you look at the last leg, it's much bigger than the first one. So there's a likelihood that this one is actually a 11 swing sequence that plays out like this. I think that is a very likely structure. Just show you, let's update it quickly while we're all here. So this is how this is going to play out. We see the 3 waves to the downside, the 3 waves up, and then another 3 waves to the downside. So this is actually an ABC here structure, and then we get another pullback here, which is 3 waves, and another 3 waves that makes a W, X, Y, X, and then a Y. So this is still going to continue lower. I don't expect that move to continue, even though this was the expectation last week. We've got all the checks. There's something missing about the structure to push up higher. We should see this one continuing lower here. So pound yen, look for continuation to the downside, at least back to this level. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking at on pound yen. For the rest of the pound pairs, if you look at euro yen, before euro yen, let's start with US dollar JPY. US dollar JPY, we forecasted this from the group that we are going to get a move to the upside, at least to retest this level. Are we going to get continuation to the upside? Pound yen is showing downsides, and these are supposed to be correlated. We need to get the confirmation of which structure we're going to have. So the US dollar JPY could be the lead on what is going to happen on this one. So this is that the yen pass. This is what we focused on US dollar yen. We're looking for this one to make a move all the way up here. We're still only here. Are we going to get that to continue to the upside? So let's wait for that. We've got a flag here. It can happen that US dollar yen and pound yen go opposite direction depending on the drivers. US dollar yen can be driven by the yen, pound yen can be driven by the pound. So you can get that difference even if they're supposed to be correlated. The next one was euro yen. Euro yen, we focused that it was going to make a move from here. We have gotten up to this level exactly. If you look at the chart, that is euro yen, that is exactly where we went. That is how that has played out, exactly where we focused it was going to go. And we are now making that reversal. So the next move here, we're going to be in this corrective structure. I don't think that's a reversal, so wait for this corrective structure. You're going to get another move, at least back around that level on euro yen. Next one on the yen pairs was chief yen. Chief yen also has pushed up higher, did not go all the way. We made a move around this level, and we're starting to make a reversal now. We're starting to make this reversal, so we're going to adjust the structure and look for one more down. This is chief yen on the real chart. So if you're in the group, you always know where the market is going at any given time. We've got the directions for all of that. So we'll be looking for this one to continue lower for at least a move back to this level. It is not a trade setup. We're just focusing the move there to around the 50% of this whole move. Okay, so that is chief yen. CAD yen, let's look at it as well on the website. So just so you can see how we focused. CAD yen, also we expected this one to make a move to the upside to complete this 3-wave structure. We're now starting to make a reversal. Are we going to make a continuation to the downside like that? Looks like it. Let's go to the live chart on CAD yen. CAD yen makes a push to the upside. As expected, makes a push to the upside. Now we have made this 3-wave pullback. I think it's still going to continue to the downside. We're still going to continue lower. With oil looking strong as well, that should continue higher. I mean, that should continue lower because of the CAD. All right, so this is CAD yen. That is CAD yen, and then we've skipped AUD yen. AUD yen, you can see the setup focus was for this one to break higher. We have broken higher. We did not go all the way up to that level. We have now already reversed here. We're looking for this one to now make a pullback. Okay. Okay. Somebody's asking for a leading diagonal on USDCAD. I don't see a US dollar, a diagonal there. It does not confirm to comply to the rules. Right, that is CAD yen. I'm looking for AUD yen. As you can see, AUD yen, this was a setup. We were expecting it to break out of this structure. It breaks out, but does not go all the way. I think we're still going to continue with the pullback here. We're still going to continue with the pullback. We've made the 3 waves that we were expecting. Now we're looking for this one to make a pullback to continue lower. So most of the yen pairs are looking downside for the coming week. New Zealand yen as well. As you can see, what we focused this before they happen. New Zealand yen makes a move to the upside. It's a deeper pullback than it was on Audi. Then that makes a move to the upside here. Now we're looking for these pullbacks. This is New Zealand yen now. Let's clear all of that. So New Zealand yen, as you can see, deeper pullback here. Then a push to the upside. Does not go all the way as we expected, but we are now looking for this. These are in any case not trades. This is forecast. So right, so forecasting does not mean we're taking those trades. We're just forecasting the direction until we get a good setup for this. So now we're looking for this one to pull back. Those are the yen pairs. Now let's look at the commodities. We'll start with gold. Now gold, let's have a look here. Gold, we're looking for this one to continue to the upside here. We looked at this one to have started with a leading diagonal, pulling back here, and we're looking for continuation to the upside. Okay, simple as that on gold. We're looking for continuation to the upside. So this structure may change slightly and do this, and we do this, and then upside. What will that do? So that will be a 3-wave structure. 1, 2, 3, and then we continue to the upside. So do not rush gold. Don't go and just buy gold like that, or you buy it because it breaks out of this structure, because it can come back down for one here and it will take you out. Silver, we cannot talk anymore about silver. Silver is clear, but also silver, as much as we're looking for upside here, this structure can be complex. We can get this one coming down here before we go up. But that is what we're looking for on silver. We're expecting that structure. This can be a WXY structure, corrective structure here on silver, and then we continue higher. Even an ABC structure is possible, but we're just focusing this one, looking for continuation to the upside. This does not look like it's got strength to just go from there, so it may go a little bit more sideways as much as we're expecting upside. That is silver and oil, Brent crude. We've already shown that this one is continuing to the upside. But again, with this one as well, this was the entry here on Brent crude. Again, with this one has already made 500 points to the upside. We're looking for this to continue higher. Again, there doesn't seem to be strength. For those that have not entered, it's not advisable to just come and take the trade here. You want to have clear confirmation, at least a break here, but this is a bit too late. That's why you need to get an indicator to confirm this. So what could possibly happen here is that this is an expanding flat, yes, and you can go even more sideways and give you a structure like this. A combination, a double combination, WXY, before we make a move to the upside. So more sideways on oil before we continue to the upside. So what we're simply waiting for is for this one to complete the corrective structure sideways and then push higher to our target. That is oil. And looking at the pound pairs are going to continue lower in the next coming week. All indications are for pound pairs to continue lower. Okay, so this is pound chief. We're looking for pound chief to come down here, make a bounce to the upside here, and then continue lower. This bounce is not mandatory. It does not have to happen. It can continue lower, but we expect it to happen because we've got a pulsing move. This is the 3-wave move, so the structure should likely bounce here. So that is why we're expecting that move on pound chief. Pound Audi. Now pound Audi, we've got a setup for downside, a very tricky setup for downside. Look at pound Audi. It's coming down. So pound Audi is coming down, maybe likely to come down up to 84. That is 300 pips from current levels. be careful with pound US dollar. It is downside. Even if we do break lower here, there's a possibility we get a deeper corrective structure, even something like this. If you look at this corrective structure on pound Audi, this is over a 600 pip corrective structure. So pound can correct, pound Audi can correct like that. You can get a 600 pip correct shift structure, but we are looking for downside. Now look where the magic is on this one. The magic on this is it does not matter how deep this is going to correct, because the structure, we understand where the structure is going. Let's look at the weekly chart on this. If you look at the weekly chart on pound Audi, I've looked at this for the past 2 years. We know that this is coming to the downside. We've got a very clear pulsing move. And in the next coming week, we're going to have a continuation to the downside. That's about a 200 pip continuation to the downside. So we should see possibly around this area a bounce, a very strong bounce, but that bounce should only be making a corrective structure for continuation to the downside. Why is that? Because we've got a 3-wave corrective structure that took 2 years to build from around 2016 up to date. And now we've got a strong impulsive move to the downside. Even if we do see a pullback here, it will be a good opportunity to buy. Now, this is a weekly chart, so this pullback can take a couple of weeks. But for now, that bounce is not ready yet. The reason why I'm saying be careful is because that bounce can come at any time. So do not take pound Audi and hold it expecting it to go straight. Okay, there's thousands and thousands of pips to the downside on pound Audi, about 3,000 pips to the downside from current levels, even breaking lower than this, but does not go in a straight line. As you can see here, this is another bounce in a pullback that's over 600 to 700 pips bounce. So it's got a tendency to do that. It can bounce from that trend line here and start making a move to the downside. So watch out. Continuation to the downside in the shorter time frame. Let's go back to the 4-hour. Don't lose money on this pair. Very clear structure for downside in the short term. Over 100, 200 pips here, you're still gonna get. New Zealand the same, may not just go straight in a straight line like this, 1, 2, 3, pull back like that, and then continue lower. We're still looking for downside here on pound New Zealand as well. Pound CAD almost guaranteed it's gonna make a move to the downside. Okay, it's an almost guarantee that it's gonna make let's just take how many pips here, about a 500 pip continuation to the downside before we get that pullback. Okay, so this is our trade of the week. So watch out for this one. Look for this one to the downside. We'll be trading this one live. We'll update this one live. We'll show our members where to enter on this one. So for the rest, you need to use your own strategy. This one should continue to the downside here. We'll be looking for this one to come down to this level. Okay, so that is pound CAD, euro pound. Euro pound is going to make slight move to the upside. Short move to the upside. As you can see, the rest of the pound pairs I'm looking downside, so this one should make a move to the upside, even though it's not going to be a strong move to the upside, but we'll look for this one to push higher and then come down. Euro New Zealand, there's a setup for downside. I showed you this one during trade setup. We focused that it's going to make a move back from this level. It has, and now we're coming down like this. Now look out for this one. This is also one of those very good looking trades for the next week. Now the tricky part is the entry, as always, the timing of the market. So that is why you need, for those who are not able to trade this on their own, you need to get assistance. That is New Zealand. Audi, look for continuation to the downside. This one is going more sideways, but we can see it's going to come down here, pull back, and then downside. For now, we're looking for downside, but there's a short move here on New Zealand, on Audi, Euro Audi. Pound EURCHF was supposed to be our trade of the week, did not play out, even if it did break out eventually. We were here last week. This is what we had last week on New Zealand EURCHF. We saw this one making a move here and a sharp corrective structure and a sharp move back. I expected this one to correct and continue higher from there, but it instead did not continue with a sharp move. It has now made this diagonal here, a 3-wave move. So very likely that EURCHF is going to come down with the rest of the euro pairs. This has now made a corrective structure, A, B, C. So we should see EURCHF do this. This is a trade setup for downside. Let's see how many pips if we get an entry from current levels. That's about 250 pips if we get an entry from around these levels. Okay, so downside on EURCHF. But you do not just go and sell because I said it's downside. You need to get a confirmation. EURCHF, we've already talked about this one. EURCHF, we expected it to continue higher after that strong impulsive move, but that impulsive move looks like it's coming down back in within the structure. So what has instead happened is this: 1, 2, 3 waves. So that move that has happened here is not what we are looking for. It looks like we're still going to continue lower here. Okay, watch out for this one for downside. If you get a setup for downside, you take it with the rest of the euros. You can see there's generally weakness on the euro pairs. The crosses, our crosses have got very interesting structures. And by interesting, I mean clear. Let's have a look at AUDUSD. AUDUSD, let's go to the 4-hour. 4-hour, show the labeling. Now we've got very clear structures on the crosses. Upside here to retest this level, and then we'll look for this one to come down. Okay, so if you want to trade AUDUSD, look out for this one here. Be short move to the upside, but the move that you're really looking forward to is this one to the downside. We're looking for this downside. Audi New Zealand, we've already shown this one. Now, Audi New Zealand is interesting in that there are two things here. Either this wave 5 may already be in place. So look out for this to start the whole corrective structure here. The whole corrective structure. So we may start seeing a corrective structure here. In any case, this actually makes all the 5 waves here. We've got all the 5 waves on wave 5, and it's also the same size as our wave 1. So there's a likelihood that this has completed all the 5 waves here, and we start looking for a move to the upside. This can actually be an A move, but let's watch it. So what you'll be looking for here is continuation to the downside here. The Audi looks like it's starting to show some weakness, so watch out for a move to the downside on this one. AUDCAD, because of the strong CAD, AUDCAD will continue upside. Okay, so we'll look for this one to the upside. That statement is wrong. It's not because of this strong CAD. My apologies. So we should see a pullback on oil, so that will result in Audi pushing a little bit higher. Okay, so as far as the structure is concerned, we're looking for this one to continue higher, even if it's for the short term to complete that wave to the upside. All right, this we just need to adjust here. This is actually a 1 and a 2 here. What you're seeing here is a 4 and a 5. 1, 2, 3. If you remember Audi New Zealand that I've just shown you, it's this exactly the same structure as Audi New Zealand. It's following that exact same structure. Look at AUDCAD. I'm going to bring Audi New Zealand on the side as well, so you can see the similarities between these two pairs. Let's do that quickly. So on the left-hand side is AUDCAD. On the right-hand side is Audi New Zealand. Both of them on the daily chart. This one is on the 4-hour. Let's put it also on the. Okay, let's put it also on the 4-hour. Can you see? It's exactly the same structure. Exactly the same structure. Just can't see the labeling here. The labeling here on this one is disappeared a bit here. So let's put it back on here. You have got here 1, 2. You've got here 3, 4. This is the 5 that I've just put on Australian Audi New Zealand. But this is a red minor degree. You see, so this is exactly the same structure. So this one has got all the 5 waves in green, having completed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this one also 1, 2 is lagging a bit. 1, 2, 3. There's the 4 there. Now this is the 5 in green. Here's the 5 in green. This one already has green, all the 5 waves in green completed. This one does not have yet. So we expect this one to follow suit, push higher and come back. The same way this one is coming back, we'll look for this one to do that. That is the similarities between the two pairs. Right, so let's go back to one chart and complete the rest of the structures. New Zealand Chief, you saw this one during trade setups. We may even have a trade setup here. We already have put one up here for our group here. We just need to see this corrective structure complete. Then we look for one more up. You can look at the labeling on this one here. That is New Zealand Chief. CAD Chief, that's the last one. CAD Chief as well. We're looking for this one to continue lower. And that's all for this week, guys. Trade responsibly. We'll see you next week. For those that have got questions after they stop the webinar, you can I'll spend 5 minutes to answer your questions. Please don't forget to like and subscribe the video so you can get a notification next time I post a video. Have a great week, guys. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.